Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper podcast. In today's episode, I am going to answer some more questions about the program that have been asked by one of our wonderful community members, and I'm very grateful for questions because one person's questions are usually the questions on the lips of the many, and so I'm just simply going to get stuck into this podcast, so let's jump in. I'm Jeannie Savage, the Strategic Bookkeeper. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer and coach. After 13 years in practice and after scaling into a lifestyle business where I could choose my own adventure, I'm sharing my secrets to success, my secret sauce recipe on how to build a thriving practice, delight your clients and ultimately live your dream on your terms. This podcast is a companion to my book. In each weekly episode, I'll share strategies for scaling and success. This is your time to shine, to step up, to become a strategic bookkeeper and enjoy all the benefits it brings to you and your clients. Okay, my friends, let's jump in and look at the questions that have been posed about the program and I'll answer them for you. So I've got two questions here regarding support and coaching. Okay, so I'm going to combine them and then I'm going to give you some information about that and answer that question. So basically, the questions are around number one, will I be offering one-to-one support to participants in the program tailored to their specific needs? And then the second question, which relates to that, is will there be a weekly or fortnightly or monthly group catch-up? The third part of this kind of set of questions is if there is a weekly or fortnightly or monthly group catch-up, what time will it be? Is it going to suit me? So the transformation program is structured, I'll rinse and repeat, it's so important, okay, in this way. So that is 5 parts. So education, assets, implementation, team, and support. So what we're talking about here in terms of one-on-one support and also the catch-ups, etc., and the times that suit, realistically, it's the implementation primarily, okay? Implementation and team and support. Because I'm going to give you the education, right? So you're going to get online coursework. I'm going to give you the assets that you need, and then I need to get together with you, yeah, and support you a little bit like, just think about a classroom or like a one-on-one coaching situation, yeah, and I need to make sure that I help you with what you're learning and the assets I've given you, and I help you implement it all. I am interrupting this podcast to make a very special announcement, and that is the doors to the Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program will open August 1. Lots of people have been asking me, and I am announcing it right now. August 1, if you're on the wait list, you'll have the opportunity to join. I want to ask you, are you ready to move from being busy to thriving? From being a bookkeeper to being a strategic bookkeeper? Are you ready to come into a community that will support you and lift you up to build the business and life of your dreams? Because I'm ready to hold your hand every step of the way and help you go from strength to strength. And I tell you, there is no better time than right now. So to celebrate the launch of the transformation program, there are foundation member bonuses. Celebration bonuses I've been dreaming about giving my foundation members for 3 years as I've built this program for you off the back of my 13 years in practice. Now, if you join the waitlist, if you're not already on it, at thestrategicbookkeeper.global/waitlist, easy, you're going to get all the details of the program, okay? I have built this program for every bookkeeper, like that years ago. I started building it for every bookkeeper, and actually I decided to price the program for every bookkeeper, okay? And it comes with a money back guarantee, my heart's desire to help bookkeepers. I want to help you very much to play your strengths, okay, by supporting you in the things that you might not be as good at, yeah, which is often like the businessy stuff. And I'm talking about sales and marketing collateral as well as end-to-end standard operating procedures, okay. But like I said, join the program waitlist so that you get all the details. There's so much. And there is a whole podcast dedicated to this. I want to help you build a thriving practice, delight your clients, and ultimately live your dream on your terms, okay? That is the income and lifestyle you want and deserve. So this is exactly what I've done in my practice, and now it's my heart's desire to help you do exactly the same thing. So in terms of one-to-one coaching support, the transformation program as it stands right now, it is a one-to-many coaching and support model. I'll consider one-to-one support if it's needed case by case, okay? You'll hear me talk about the 80-20 principle a bit throughout my coursework that I give you and through other things. And I do believe that the one-to-many model will suit most for many reasons. Now, the bookkeeper who has posed these questions to me, and I'm very grateful for the questions, did ask about price, and I have done a podcast about that separately. But in terms of one-to-one coaching and me turning up fortnightly, because yes, the answer to that question around will there be weekly or fortnightly, etc. sessions is yes, I will be turning up live. So at this stage, I have made provision to turn up live and work with everyone in the transformation program in a way that basically gives you that coaching and support to make sure that you can implement everything you're learning and being given. Okay, so once a fortnight, there's going to be a session that is live and recorded. And that is the way, that is the answer to, how do I make this session time friendly for everyone? I can't make it time friendly for everyone, okay? So at this stage, my intention is to have one session that I make as time friendly as possible, and it will be live and recorded. And then what I do is I make sure that you've got ways to reach out for support. If, let's say, you couldn't get to the live session, then you are going to be able to use different support channels like the private Facebook group and more in order to let me know what you need. Now, back to the question about one-to-one support and coaching for a moment. So I will absolutely consider that case by case at the moment, and I'm going to link this through to price a little bit. So you may have heard me talk about when I was developing all of this, I thought back to the beginning of my journey as a bookkeeper, okay? So I was pregnant at the time. I had 8-year-old stepchildren, one in the belly coming, and I actually chose bookkeeping over a few other things that I was skilled at because I did feel like it would be flexible around being a mum. And it absolutely was, especially given that I had a neurodiverse child, also known as special needs. Now, way back then, and I know I might be rinsing and repeating a bit for some of you, the global financial crisis hit. We had 2 mortgages, interest rates skyrocketed. I had to go back to work earlier than anticipated in order to try and manage all the, day-to-day expenses that a family is incurring that we thought one income would cover off, okay? But with the GFC having hit, I was pretty, it was a scary time for everyone, right? And so I thought back to what I would have needed, and I thought about price in the equation. And so I priced the program as a one-to-many model. So over the last few years as I've built it, I've had a lot of people say to me, you're too cheap, right? Because, for many reasons, but one of them is because with everything that's inside the program, it has been described as a done-for-you bookkeeping practice. So I give you a lot, right? There is a mountain of value. I give you so much. And in fact, if you compare what I give you to, say, if you were going to go out and buy a franchise, and a franchise conceivably will cost you, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, whereas my program is, 10% of that kind of fee structure, it is a fraction of that. And yet I give you probably 10 times more than the franchise model is going to give you. So why did I do that? Because I've built this for bookkeepers and I want to make it accessible to as many bookkeepers as possible. So when I was structuring everything, okay, the education, assets, implementation, team and support, and thinking about the fee structure attached and how I could offer money back guarantee and how I could help you get a return on investment week on week, month on month, I did consider, am I going to offer one-on-one coaching? So for the transformation program as it stands right now, one-on-one coaching is not included. If I get demand for one-on-one coaching, yeah, I will consider offering one-on-one coaching as an additional service and an upgrade to the bookkeepers who request it, okay? However, I do believe the way I've structured it and everything I know about how I can deliver as a trainer and assessor, there is a high likelihood that it may not be required, and it definitely may not be required for the very high majority. So the answer is I will definitely consider it case by case, but the one-on-one coaching is not included in the transformation program as it stands right now. So you absolutely do get coaching, and the answer to will there be the weekly, fortnightly, etc. huddles? Yes, there will. So I'll be turning up on a fortnightly basis. And just a little side note there, the program is a living, breathing, organic, evolving machine. So the other thing is, I'm big on review and improve. So I'll be listening to everyone and listening to what everyone needs, right? And tweaking things to ensure that I do what I need to do to help you get results, right? So I've structured the program in a way that I think, that is going to give everyone enough, but also not steal your time away from you, okay? When I build out all the education, I am thinking to myself, I need to condense everything as much as I possibly can so that the bookkeepers can invest enough time, yeah, but so that I'm not giving you simply overwhelm or forcing you to spend more time than you have to get results. So yes, I will be turning up once a fortnight with my trainer and assessor hat on, and I will be talking directly to everyone in the program, okay? Literally, talking directly to you. You will ask me questions. I will answer your questions. I will direct you and redirect you to continue that first lap around the sun where you are taking what you learn, taking the assets that I've given you, adapting them to your practice, going out and using the strategies, telling me how you are going with them, changing and getting bigger and better results so that practice makes perfect, yeah, or practice makes progress, because I get there's no such thing as perfect, right? So I'm going to be listening to you and giving you the best way, I love to call it the direction and redirection, really love to think of it that way. So support is a good word, yeah, but direction and redirection. So you're going to say, Jeannie, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm finding, right? And then I'm going to be saying, okay, great, and you need to do this, or and you need to change it up this way, or and are you doing this, or have you implemented this piece of the puzzle? So you're going to be telling me about the results you're getting, any results you're not getting, any problems you're having, and I'm going to be helping you with all that, yeah, by making sure that I educate you, re-educate you, direct you and redirect you and support you, okay? Now, the sessions will be live and recorded, and I've absolutely tested that model. So I invest in professional education for myself. I'm in programs and courses and things like that, okay? So I have been in programs where sessions are live and recorded. And I'm going to encourage you to always, as much as possible, turn up live, okay? However, when you can't, you need to reserve time in your diary to watch that recording. And that's a part of the support that I give you. I'm literally going to be helping you with how you get it all done, okay? So as I record this podcast, I've started at about 6:45 a.m. on a beautiful Wednesday morning. So it's winter here in Australia on the Gold Coast, and I've got up really early when it's dark in order to do some work that I really needed to do, okay? My son's not in school at the moment. He's neurodiverse and Year 7 hasn't worked out for him, so he's still sound asleep in bed. But I'm up doing what I need to do, okay, because I need to make sure that I deliver this beautiful program to you. And the reason I'm telling you that story is that in the program, in the early days, I'm going to ask you to work a bit harder, yeah? And then in the later days, in the longer term, rather than ask you to work harder, I'm going to ask you to make maybe a few harder and smarter decisions. That said, I am a mum, and I'm a mum of a neurodiverse child. And so if anyone tried to tell me what I had time for and what I didn't have time for, what I could turn up to and what I couldn't turn up to when I take things day by day. I mean, I'm still very structured, organised, run by a diary, but there are times when my day goes out the window, right? Then I get pretty cranky because, you know, I guess, yeah, just as a mum with everything going on, sometimes something's got to give, and so I don't get to a live session, yeah, if I'm in a program. And so I do need to watch the recorded session. So I guess I just wanted to give you my experience there and let you know that, yes, the sessions will be fortnightly, live and recorded, and if you can't make the live, you're going to watch the recorded, and then we're just going to see if you need any extra support. I know from experience that most of the time the questions that are posed from the community are the questions that you will have anyway. So when you watch the recording, coffee in your hand, at your own leisure, you're probably going to find that you get everything you need. But if you don't, you're going to jump into the Facebook group and you're going to ask me, either by putting a post in or just jumping on the video and asking me, and Team HQ and I are going to make sure that you get the support you need. So the next question is about, will your program have any lock-in contract terms? So this question should be answered by what you get when you join the program waitlist. So the transformation program is a lap around the sun, and yes, it's a 12-month commitment. And the reason for that is, you know how I talked about thinking about myself at the beginning of my journey, and it was the global financial crisis. So I could absolutely have structured the fee structure so that you are paying for the program up front, but I decided to structure it so you're paying a weekly fee over 12 months because I wanted to make it as accessible as possible to every bookkeeper. So I thought about, you know, if a bookkeeper didn't have the cash flow up front, if a bookkeeper was early days, how could I make it accessible so that they could jump in, work hard and get a return on investment over time? And I decided to do a fee structure that was a weekly fee over 12 months, okay? So it is a 12-month commitment to the program. It is a weekly fee every week over 52 weeks. There will be an option to pay upfront with a small saving there on an upfront fee. But it is a 12-month commitment, okay? And what I need you to do is give me that lap around the sun so that I can give you the big results, okay? And that's back to me at the beginning of my journey. And I did buy a system for bookkeeping, and I got a little bit of value out of it, but one of the things that was missing was the hand-holding for the first year, okay? I know you need that. So the very last question posed by this bookkeeper was around brand, and I love the question. So I'm going to frame it up in my own words. So this community member was just asking, with the brand part of the transformation program, whether you have to change your brand drastically and brand assets. And she says, or does it lend itself to allow participants to use the strategic bookkeeping brand /logo on their websites? the answer is yes, it lends itself to that. So when I held myself in my mind at the beginning of my journey, and then I thought about all the different stages that bookkeepers are at in their journey, I wanted to structure brand and the brand assets and the program so that I could help bookkeepers that were in kind of any place with their brand. But also, the thing I love about this question is that this particular community member comes with a brand background, okay? So she has got brand assets in place that she really likes. And if you're a bookkeeper and you're going it alone, you're using my book to build, you absolutely are going to have to do it and test and measure and, do the DIY figuring out as you go. Whereas when you come into the program, what's really important to me is that we actually don't mess with your brand a lot at the beginning, okay? So the way that I've structured it is going to fit in with a lot of different bookkeepers and where they're at with brand. Here's an example. So for this particular bookkeeper, absolutely she's going to be able to take the strategic bookkeeper certification that she gets, which gives her a great unique selling proposition, selling points and competitive advantage, and she's going to be able to use that in her marketing collateral along with her the directory listing that she gets in the directory of strategic bookkeepers that we give you, that the Better in Business.global podcast funnels through to, so that for the long term we're working really hard on done for you lead generation. Now, this bookkeeper's also going to get this phenomenal brochure that we're putting the final brush strokes on now. So the reason I'm so passionate about the brochure for all the bookkeepers, so let's imagine you're a bookkeeper out there with no brand, yeah? You've got no real brand, or you've looked at your brand and gone, oh my goodness, I really need to renovate it, or I'm confused, I have no idea what I need to do around brand, and I totally get that. Yeah, so this bookkeeper that actually has a background in brand, and this is going to be the exception, not the norm, but no matter where you're at, I want to explain beyond what I've just told you how this brochure is meant to fit in. So, in terms of brand, mistakes around brand cost a lot of time, and therefore they cost a lot of money, yeah? And building the right brand is obviously very important. So I don't want you to mess with your brand right at the beginning. I want you to be able to take this incredible brochure that I build, yeah, which is going to be multi-purpose. So in my methodology, we have brand and then menu and then client attraction, okay, and then the other steps. So the brochure takes into account our beautiful menu, which I've tested in my practice, which is one of the most powerful digital assets that we have. And the brochure is also a little bit of a story, right? So we're going to help you take this brochure and bring your own brand into it, okay, and tell a story about you and your practice, yeah, that gives you the competitive advantage, the unique selling proposition that demonstrates your profile, your results-based marketing, all these various moving parts. And that's going to give you something that we're able to help you use in the conversion process immediately, like hit the ground running. It's going to give you something that is a brief for a web developer, okay? You're going to be able to print this and take it to business networking with you. You're going to be able to have it in front of you as a translator to go from what language to why language, because people buy why you do, not what you do. Okay, that's all included in the book. Now that brochure is so that you can find, onboard and retain clients without price as a priority. No matter where you are at in your branding journey, you're going to be able to look through that and use it either end to end as it is to solve those problems, yeah, Or let's say you're the exception, not the norm. You're the bookkeeper with a background in brand. Yeah, because we all have secret skills and I teach you to use those in succession to solve more problems for your clients. But let's say you're a bookkeeper with a background in brand, then you're still going to find elements of what I've built in that brochure, because this is brand for bookkeepers, in order to give you those aha moments that allow you to improve what you're doing so that you can find, onboard and retain clients without price as a priority. Okay? Just to rinse and repeat, that brochure is meant to be multi-purpose. Okay, so it's a brief for a web developer, it's a brief for your social media, it's a conversion asset. You take it to networking groups. It does the talking for you. It contains your menu. Yeah, so it's kind of impossible for me to convey everything here. I think one of the important things is that I'm a bookkeeper who's built this for bookkeepers, considering the beginning of my journey, everything that I would have needed back then that would have been impactful based on what I know now, okay, based on what I've achieved now. So I've been really passionate, and the reason I love this question is, if you're a bookkeeper, to stop and simply work only on your brand, you will go down a rabbit hole. And I don't want you going down a rabbit hole, okay? So one of the things that I've been really, I've considered very carefully is how I help you hit the ground running in terms of getting results from brand assets and brand, regardless of where you're at. So for this bookkeeper, absolutely, you're going to get the pieces of the strategic bookkeeper brand to plug into your brand, and do not mess with it if it's working for you. But then over that lap around the sun, I'm also going to, and HQ is going to, be really working with you and looking at what you're doing and giving you comments, questions and suggestions to further enhance that brand, okay? So even if for this bookkeeper they have a background in brand, okay, we still want to be looking at everybody's brand and directing you and redirecting you on what to do next, no matter where you are at. My friends, that is all those questions answered. If you have any more questions about the transformation program, you can either post in the Strategic Bookkeepers Way Facebook group. That is a good place. And I jump in there regularly and I answer questions. You can also email me at hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. We will link everything in the show notes and I will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a question you'd like answered on my podcast, please email me, hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Did you know we have a private Facebook group called the Strategic Bookkeepers Way? There you'll find bookkeepers just like you on the same journey where you can ask questions and get support. You can find more resources and how to work with me at thestrategicbookkeeper.global. All the links are in the show notes. Have a prosperous week and I'll see you in the next episode.